what's up everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today it's time to show you another build that I'm doing in Path of Exile, and this time in 3.12 in the Heist League, which is an amazing new league, but it has a lot of bugs in it at the moment. But the league itself is just one of the best leagues ever, in my opinion. But they really need to fix the bugs. I can't do Grand Heist because the final door is locked. It's just bugged out, and there's a lot of like skills bugging out and stuff like that. And my first build this league was Shattering Steel, and it also had some issues. So I ditched that, and at the end of Harvest League, I leveled multiple times up this exact character and checked it out. How good is it in SSFHC? And it turns out that this build is pretty freaking nuts, and even while leveling. So I'm gonna show you a quick map demonstration. Nothing too crazy, but I just wanted to get this video out fast enough, right? So it's like day 4 or 5 in the league at the moment, and as you can see, I haven't done a lot of maps at the moment, but we are gonna be doing a proper chill T5 map. And as you can see, my gear at the moment here is nothing too special, right? So this is pretty much what you're gonna get, and I'm gonna just say one thing here before I begin. This build, while leveling from level 1 to level 65 right into the maps, has been the fastest and the biggest AoE clear I have ever experienced in Path of Exile. So you're definitely gonna have a ton of freaking fun. I can guarantee that. Anyway, so let's open up this map. Hopefully we won't die, right? And I'm gonna just quickly show you how the damage is, how the clear speed is, and the build is gonna, show its power on yourself. I don't need to really explain, but I will. Anyway, so heading into the map and just using my Creeping Frost a little bit here and there, and triggered another Guardian here. But anyway, yeah, using Creeping Frost and my Vortex here, and then pretty much every skill. There's a lot of buttons to press on this build, but it's okay, because see, I'm immortal. I am immortal, almost immortal, right? There's a you have to be a little bit cautious, right, in SSFHC. I haven't. This is my first T5 map actually as well. I'm gonna take this here. I did get a little bit lucky with my helmet. It's not nothing too crazy. It's a decent leveling helmet, but I really like it. I don't really wanna change it out. But if I do change it out, it's gonna be on Hubris Circlet, right? And need to craft it quite good. But still, this helmet is a really nice thing to have if you don't have anything else. But anyway, definitely not needed, right? It's just a nice little buffer, right? Anyway, just as you can see, I mean, the clear speed is freaking insane. We're gonna take this as well. Let's put some Gotos on. Okay, everybody's dead, alright. Basically, I'm running into backs, hitting down my Vortex and Creeping Frost, and also putting my Orb of Storms down, which has Curse on Hit, or it's been renamed as Hex Touch now, which applies cold exposure, right? So more single target damage, which is pretty nice. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Also using the brand new whatever it's called, Void Sphere. I feel that it's pretty nice sometimes, and definitely when opening the Heist doors, right, I'll just pop this down and then just boom, go straight into Heist. No issues at all with Heist. I've seen a lot of people dying, a lot of big streamers like Rise QT and guys like that dying to Heist doors pretty much. But yeah, here's the single target damage, and I'm not using any real damage items, right? So, and my skills haven't been leveled up yet, right? And this is the weapon I'm using, and it's just so freaking insane. And this is the clear speed that you're pretty much gonna get from level 28. I guess a little bit later you can get it up to par. Like I'd say like level before killing Malachi in Act 4, you're gonna be super fast and really tanky, and don't have to worry about dying that much. But if you're in Raid League, it's even freaking better, right? To start, mapping, enjoying the Heist League, enjoying, opening up your maps and getting your currency pool going, to go into some other build later on that you personally enjoy the most, right? But this one here, I really love this build, and it's just so nice to play. Anyway, let's head back to down. I'm gonna come back for the loot a little bit later. Hopefully I don't forget this, because it is the start of the league and I do need all the loot items that I can get. But anyway, that's the build, right? And as you can see, it clears freaking amazing. The leveling part is just absolutely amazing with it. No issues at all with damage or clear speed. Everything. This build has pretty much everything, in my opinion. And first of all, I mean, of course, we're gonna go through all of our stuff here. I'm gonna leave my battle building link in the description, so you can, stop the video here and just yoink that and go, right? But anyway, I'm gonna explain how the build comes together here a little bit here. Hopefully, I don't, hopefully, I can talk fluently and not, cock up like I do right now. Anyway, enough. Open up the passive tree, right? So this is the passive tree that I'm using myself here for the live version. We can also later on in the raid maps maybe, just try to find ES items right here and there, and then start gathering items to transition into CI, right? So that would be the end game part to do. But I feel like live version is really tanky as well, and don't need to really go CI, but that's something you can, do when you get more gear, right? But that should happen in the end raid maps, right? I still believe that this guy can definitely take down Awakener 8, so I'm gonna try and do that. But anyway, first of all, right, we're gonna be Trickster, right? And first of all, at level 33, I took Patient Reaper, so I take this when I get to Act 4 down, right? First time. That's when I usually run my first lab. And get Patient Reaper, and as you can see, it gives us a nice little damage boost with the increased damage over time, 50%. It's not more, it's increased, right? But it's something. There's a lot of recovery, which is really nice. And in my opinion, one of the most important things here is the 70% increased recovery rate of life, mana, and energy shield if you've killed an enemy affected by your damage over time recently, which is pretty much always, right? So yeah, I mean, that's something. The more life that you get, the more energy shield that you get, the more this will come into play, right? If you have 3k life like me, it might not be that special. It is still something, right? But if you get your life and or energy shield pool up to 10k or something like that, the recovery rate is gonna be insane, in my opinion at least. So the second one, you can go here, take more damage over time if you're in the Raid League, right? So to get more damage, be even faster. But I felt that Ghost Dance and Escape Artist would be the best choices next, and leave the Uber Lab for the prolonged pain. Because I don't... Did we, have do less of a damage or something? No. So we are SSFHC Hardcore League, so I want to get as much defenses as I can. And Ghost Dance and Escape Artist, as you can see, are really amazing. Give a little bit of chance to evade while you have Energy Shield, right? 2% reduced damage taken per Ghost Route, and we do have maximum of 3, so that's 6% reduced damage, which is really nice, right? So not as good as 45, right? 20%, right? But 6% is quite a considerable chunk, right? And if we lose a Ghost Route, we recover Energy Shield equal to 4% of your evasion rating, and we are gonna be having a ton of evasion here. So we're gonna be evading a lot of attacks, right? And we're gonna have a lot of block chance, so it's gonna be a really amazingly tanky build and also have damage. Definitely a really good build to play in SSFHC. And the second thing, Escape Artist, right? +5 to evasion rating per 1 maximum energy shield on your helmet. So we're gonna be using a hubris circlet or something like this hybrid, right? And as the gull is so good in my opinion, right? It gives a lot of life, a lot of energy shield, some gold rares, but the shrine buffs that we get almost all the time while mapping is just so nice. I really don't feel the need to get a hubris circlet. Although there's only one thing why I want the hubris circlet. I could get, you know, ailment immune with a rare helmet. That's the only thing that's bugging me a little bit here. But we could do this by getting maximum chance to avoid elemental ailments here and maximum here, and then get 3 abyssal jewels, and we will also have 100% here. But it's kind of tricky and expensive to do that in non-raid league. But if you're in raid league, yeah, definitely try this out. Anyway, talking a little bit more about escape artists, right? So +1, that's how we get a lot of evasion, right? You get over 200 or 300 energy shield on your helmet. You get a ton of evasion, right? So that will give you a lot of evasion chance. At the moment, I had just 30%, but I don't have a hubris circlet, right? If I get that, it should be almost capped. And also +1 maximum energy shield, per 6 evasion rating on body armor. So you can put a hybrid chest piece, or a full evasion chest piece. Just check it out, right? What feels best for you. But I'm using a hybrid version. Definitely, if you get this, if you're in raid league, only go for T1 rares, right? Because T1 rares give you the most evasion or most energy shield possible, right? You don't want the T2 chest by any means. Only if it's like, you know, something like an astral plate for some other classes, right? That give, you know, implicit gives all elemental resistances, if you even need that, right? But yeah, that's why ideally just only grab T1 rares. But if you have a nice drop that you feel that has T1 life or something like that, you can still use it, right? Even if it's not T1 rare, to get you going, right? And yeah, 6% attack and cast speed per ghost shot is nice, right? We can dash, flame dash a little bit quicker. Cannot be stunned while you have ghost shroud's stun immunity, and 10% chance to dodge spell hits, which is another nice defensive layer here. Overall, I mean, how I went with my 3 here, I just came from here, took these elemental nodes, right? And quickly to cover the leveling part, I guess, and how to get to level 28 is just use the Stormblast Mine. With even 2 link or even 3 link, right, is fine until level 20. It just clears so good. So just use Stormblast Mine and Flame Dash, and that's pretty much all you need, right? Of course, pick up your Frost Bomb and your Orb of Storms as well on the go, because we're going to be using them in the endgame setup. And you can see everything, all the skills that we need in the base bin, so you know what to pick up, right? But yeah, in short, just level with Stormblast Mine. You're gonna be having an amazing time. Don't switch it to anything else. It's gonna be good, trust me. Anyway, and you know, I just had my Stormblast Mine on the W and then the detonate on the E button here, and it was a really nice. Anyway, then we come down here, take the life nodes and take the damage over time nodes. Take these nodes here, a little bit damage, a little bit life, right? And start picking up these damage over time nodes, right? Then heading here, taking these nodes here, then taking these block nodes. And I actually went and took these nodes as well, because I feel it's quite nice. Although you can skip this part and maybe take life nodes if you feel the need. I didn't feel the need. But I did feel the need for some area, so yeah, I took some area nodes here and I took some area nodes here. So I went here first and then came from downstairs here and picked these area of effect nodes, which is really nice. You can skip these nodes if you want. Again, you can get more life if you don't feel the need of area of effect. Then again took these block nodes here, then went here, took these block nodes. You can pick up these life nodes. This gives all elemental resistances. Now, when you get to around here, I guess you're gonna have to, you know, choose what to do with the bandits, right? Alira is pretty good. It gives you a resistances, but ideally, if you have enough resistances, if you feel you don't need more at the moment, I have Alira at the moment. If if I'm correct. But I'm planning to ditch her and take 2 passive points so I can get more life or something like that. Anyway, yeah. Then moving on, taking the Elemental Overload here, which gives us a nice damage boost. And then going here and taking these Chaos Resistance nodes. And this should be around, you know, Act 8 before Doedre. So you might get to pick these up before killing Doedre, so the Doedre fight should be a little bit easier. But it's gonna be a true facepalm, really easy fight for this build. Area of Effect nodes from here, right, then came down here, need to take these life nodes, right, then took these life nodes, came back down here and took these block nodes, so this pretty much finishes our block chance. And as you can see, I have 37 block attack damage and 42 spell block, and this is full block without Glancing Blows. Glancing Blows got a little bit nerfed. I didn't use it before. I feel that full block is so much better than, you know, just, you know, still taking like 65% of damage from the blocked hits, which gives us double the block at the moment, right? But we can, you know, farm some cluster jewels and then get some block nodes from there, or maybe get a little bit lucky, get block spell damage here, or later on switch it out and get block spell damage on your shield. There's a lot of different ways to go about it. But if you can manage to get these to 50%, you're gonna be really strong. And right now, as you can see, I'm just almost immortal, I'd say. Then going down here, taking these life nodes here, and then what I'm gonna be doing right now is gonna be going here, taking all these life nodes here, and I think before I'm gonna even go and take Elemental Equilibrium. So that's the strat that we're gonna be using, Elemental Equilibrium. So do not get any flat lightning damage, flat fire damage anywhere, only cold damage, right? So when we hover over our Creeping Frost or our Vortex, right, we don't do any flat damage other than cold damage, right? That's really important for to apply Elemental Equilibrium with our Orb of Storms. Later on, we're gonna be adding maybe Stormbrand as well there, so should be pretty nice. And ideally, you do want a wand, right? But you can get away with Scepter. Also, you just need you need triggers Socrates spells when you use a skill. But it's a pretty hard craft to get actually, which I like. I like things to, you know, go forward and level into, right? And but yeah, trigger Socrates spells is pretty good because we're gonna be adding our Orb of Storms there and our Stormbrand there, and then Frostbite. So we don't need to use this manually casted Orb of Storms. But I still feel this is really fine for me. I don't really need to feel to switch it out for trash, right? And yeah, I might not even pick up Element. I'm gonna check it out how it is, right? I might still pick it up, but it should be still a really nice damage boost for single target, especially in the end game, right? But yeah, that's the strat of the passive tree, right? Coming back to our items and stuff like that, I mean, just if you're in SSFHC, pretty much get what you can. Try to get as close to T1 life as possible. I have T1 life here, right? I have T2 life here. With chest piece, I don't care. I just need some good prefixes and suffixes like resist, like chaos resistance is really good. Over 90 life is fine, not below. And then just Mastercraft chance to avoid elemental ailments there, right? To get ailment immunity when going, ideally before entering red maps. And as you can see, you know, I have 85% at the moment. I can pretty much cap it with 3 jewels, but I need to take 3 jewel sockets for that. And I can get 1 jewel socket from here for chill and freeze. 1 here I can get for ignite, right? And then some for shock, right? That's what I can do. I can skip a few life nodes. I can take this, right? So yeah, nothing is in concrete, as we say, right? You can mess about here and there a little bit. And as you can see, yeah, I don't have really good boosts at the moment, but it still gives me a lot of evasion, which is really important in SSFHC to evade a lot of hits, right? And because we don't have physical damage reduction, but as we avoid so many of our hits, right? I have my flasks, right? and I have 50% chance to evade here, and I mean, it's a really tanky build. But yeah, the gull is pretty good. The shield, just get as much as life as possible. But pretty much, yeah, just try to get T1 life and then try to just cap out your resistances. That's pretty much what you need to do. And if you can, try to get as close to T1 bases, armor bases as possible, because it gives you a lot of armor, a lot of evasion or energy shield to, you know, take advantage of your Ascendancy. And coming to the skills itself, right, themselves, where to begin? Right, the 6th link, right, which is actually my 5th link at the moment. But as you can see, I have Cold Snap and Creeping Frost in my 6th link, which is gonna be the end game strat as well. If you don't have 5 link, just use them, you know, separately somewhere. Skip something from here, or maybe use a 3 link for Creeping Frost. It's not that important. But yeah, so Creeping Frost, Cold Snap are linked to Elemental Focus, Swift Affliction, and Hypothermia. So pretty much the most simple way to explain why this setup is like it is. Supporter skills deal 37% more gold damage over time. So we are a top build, right? We are doing gold damage over time, which is our main thing. As you can see, I have 37,000 gold damage per second right now on my Creeping Frost. Cold Snap is, what it is, 32,000, and Vortex is 28,000. So that's what you can, you know, if you build your build like I did here, you can go check out if your damage numbers stay the same, and you know, if you've done something wrong, or even better, then check what you've done right. But this is really fine, at least in the white maps, and you know, doing all heist content at the moment is just so amazing. But anyway, yeah, these are linked with Hypothermia and Swift Affliction. Again, more damage over time. So this is more cold damage over time, but this is more damage over time. It doesn't really matter if it's it doesn't have to be gold damage over time, as long as it is damage over time. But it can't be chaos damage over time, right? So Elemental Focus, more elemental damage, again gives us a lot of damage, so that's pretty much why I used it here. And the 6th link, I'm gonna be using Efficacy, because Efficacy gives us more spell damage and more damage over time. so that's a really nice setup. This is what I'll be using. At the moment I have my Frostbomb unlinked here, which applies cold exposure, so reduces 25% cold resistances on enemies, which is really nice. So pretty much when you get to boss, right, ideally you put down your Orb of Storms, your Vortex, your Cold Snap, and then just blast them with the Creeping Frost. And also, don't forget to use the Creeping Frost. And as you can see, if I hold down my control key, Shift E, R, and D, so I don't miss the keys, right? If I see a lot of monsters up ahead, I just Shift R, or whatever my key is, and enable Wall Cold Snap, so that gives us Frenzy Charge generation, and we can spam pretty much Cold Snap there. But anyway, yeah, a Cold Snap is, as we can see, creates a sudden burst of cold, which is a really big area, because we have area of effect so much, right? So they take damage over time there, and also if enemies die in this range, they grant us Frenzy Charges, which are really nice, right? And we can, because Cold Snap does have cooldown, right? 3-second cooldown, yeah. But if we get 3 Frenzy Charges, it doesn't cost anything, so we can spam it pretty much, right? And as enemies always die there, it isn't a guaranteed chance, but it is a chance to get Frenzy Charges. So it's gonna be really nice to just pretty much spam Cold Snap, and you're gonna be immortal. Trust me, almost. And Creeping Frost, you can use Winter Dye Brand. A lot of people using Winter Dye Brand, but I feel like I love the shooting of Creeping Frost, and you know, with Winter Dye Brand, it doesn't have this big AoE, and that's why I don't really like it. But yeah, I'm using Creeping Frost, and it works out perfectly. So, moving on to somewhere else, let's see. Let's come to Vortex, right? Pretty much one of our main damage skills, 4 linked. And Vortex, an icy blast explodes around the caster, dealing cold damage over time, and leaving behind Whirling Vortex, which deals cold damage over time, right? Chills enemies caught in it, blah blah, yeah, right? So pretty much just a really big cold damage over time effect, right? and it's an instant skill, so we can run and spam this skill. Also, if we see enemies, we use Creeping Frost, we use Cold Snap, right? And it's just so nice, right? So nice. Anyway, yeah, that's why I'm using Vortex. Pretty much everybody is using it, right? Link to Bone Chill, right? This just amplifies your gold damage over time a lot, so you can take your time and read the text here, but basically it gives us a lot of gold damage over time and increases the chill effect, and the more chill effect we have, the more damage we do again, so really nice. Link to Efficacy, again, damage over time, right? And Hypothermia, again, damage over time. Also, coming to Flame Dash, right? Our movement skill, which is linked to Arcane Surge, gives us more damage over time. Do not level over level 1 or 2. What it is? Mana cost is 32, so you want to trigger this with one single dash, right? We get Arcane Surge, right? So you want to trigger this with one dash, Flame Dash. So I can actually level it up until it is at 32 mana cost, or whatever it's your mana cost for Flame Dash at the moment is. So you kinda you benefit a little bit more with few extra levels, right? Second Wind, the +1 cooldown choose is nice, I guess, but the most important skills have increased cooldown recovery rate. So we can dash really quickly, and our recovery rate is so fast. So that's why I'm using it here. Again, you can change it out to something like Shield Charge that gives you 45, but although it is still really fast, even with a wand, like you're gonna be like zoom, right? You can't, dash over, objects or something like that. So it's really clunky and it might get you killed. So yeah, Fortify, God, it's good, but yeah, Flame Dash is still better, even without Fortify. So that's why I'm using it. And we have Withering Step. This is actually a new strat that I'm gonna be trying out in bosses like Awakener 8 and stuff like that, or Awakener 4. But big bosses that you're really scared of. So pretty much like Awakener's 8 die beam, right? When you hear that, you just hit Withering Step, right? Let's see. I can put it here, right? Withering Step is here. So die, okay? And then you just walk away. If you don't use any skills, you're still gonna be having a Withering Step, and it gives you a lot of defensive stuff, right? A lot of torch and stuff like that, right? If I'm not mistaken. Anyway, you're gonna be almost you can really tank the beams pretty much. So if you're really in a really bad situation, just with your step and walk into a safe distance, and if he's not using his die beams anymore, come out of it and start doing damage again. So that's pretty much why I'm using it, but I never use it at the moment. But it is a nice strat to have. Moving on, Void Sphere, right? Brand new skill, just left it in here. If you don't feel the need to use it, right? I even don't really feel to use it, but it's a cool new skill that works. Actually works. I'm using it, but if you don't, then just add Wall Gold Snap. It is a little bit easier to enable Wall Gold Snap, but I don't really mind, every once in a while hitting Shift T or R or E, right? Yeah, that's Void Sphere here. Malevolence, more damage over time, and Cooling Strike with Void Sphere. Now, Cooling Strike you can actually change out with Onslaught, that is in my Orb of Storms, so with big bosses it might be a little bit better. But while clearing, it's just so nice to have Onslaught. But, when going into big bosses like Uber Elder or Shaper or whatever, definitely, every once in a while, after a few days, you can do this gem swap. You don't have to, but with big bosses, why not, right? Cooling Strike is not bad. If you don't have it on gloves, right? You can always craft the Cooling Strike on gloves, which I'm gonna be doing. But I'm in SSFHC in white maps at the moment. Anyway, that's the setup there. The Orb of Storms is linked to Hex Touch, which is Curse on Hit, right? Which enables Frostbite and also Onslaught, right? So as you can see, the area of effect that is so huge for us, because we've taken all these area of effect nodes, and it's so nice. It saps everybody in it, right? And also later on, it's gonna enable our Elemental Equilibrium to give us a lot more damage, right? So yeah, that's my setup here. And the last setup, which is a really interesting one. The skill is cast when damage taken with steel skin. I mean, nothing too special. You can definitely use something else like Immortal Goal, or maybe something else even. You don't maybe even need to use cast when damage taken, but I have steel skin here, which should be pretty okay. But the most interesting thing that I found out this league some people using is Flesh and Stone. And if you're in hardcore, definitely in SSFHC, a lot of people, you know, don't really look at it when you're not melee, right? Everybody, for whatever reason, is only using it on melee skills, right? Mostly. But our second aura, yeah, Flesh and Stone in Sand Stance. Why? Nearby enemies are blinded while in Sand Stance. And what does blind do? It pretty much makes their hit chance halved, right? Their enemies' hit chance is halved. That's what I wanted to say. So that's a really strong defensive option. Plus, also you take 11% less damage from attacks from enemies that aren't nearby while in Sand Stance. So I mean, it's a really incredibly strong defensive aura. The only thing I haven't learned at the moment, you can maybe find it out and leave a comment down below, is does it affect monsters in the entire Flesh and Stone aura here, or only the, you know, really next to my character here, the aura from our malevolence, right? Pretty much, right? That's what I'm trying to understand. I think it should be the entire aura here, but I'm not so certain. But anyway, it does give us a blind chance. I can't test it out because when I go next to some enemies, it doesn't show the blind effect right there on their heads, but it should be working. Should be. Anyway, that's pretty much the build, right? Definitely try it out if you're feeling that you're struggling, right? And man, if this build gets buffed, because a lot of people don't play this, right? Really few people out there play this build. I don't know why. Maybe because it's not like crazy damage in the very end game, but for hardcore, SSF hardcore, it's such an incredible build. And also a league starter for, you know, Great League to get your currency going. And you can comfortably do all kinds of maps, you know. You don't feel the need of more damage, but if you do, you are in Trade League, so you just buy damage over time stuff. And yeah, it's gonna be pretty great for you. Anyway, hope I covered everything here, and that's pretty much gonna be it for now. I mean, quickly, you know, the wand or the scepter that you're gonna find, just find something with damage over time multiplier. While leveling, I never had this. And the damage was still crazy good. But yeah, definitely get damage over time multiplier, and then later trigger socket spells when using a skill. And I mean, yeah, just cap your life, cap your resistances, get T1 life or close to it as much as possible, and then chaos resistance crafting, like Yun crafting chaos resistance wherever possible, like lightning and chaos rays, cold and chaos rays, fire and chaos rays, something like that, right? And then, yeah, a small tip to cap your elemental, your chance to avoid elemental ailments, right? The way that you can get this craft on gloves and helmet is through the Siege map. So Siege, this league is T4 map, really easy to capture, really easy and fast to get this, right? So after completing that, you get the craft into your crafting bench, and you can craft this on your gloves and on your helmet. But my helmet is unique, so I can't craft it there, so I'm not really capped at the moment. But yeah, quickly covering, yeah, I already covered, I guess, everything. Yes. Okay. May I go now? I can go now, right? Anyway, I'm gonna go and do some more heists and unlock more maps. I hope this build guide helped you a little bit. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna do a quick little video extra later on when I'm in the end game if I don't die, and you know, show you how the damage holds up in the far end game in T16 maps and stuff like that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Stay sane, Exiles. Ciao for now.